Big Wheel Dog 82 here in the soil, and I'm bringing this video to you guys today to talk about some of the stuff that happened to me this past week or so. It made me realize a few things that other people who are in my position with physical ailments or mental health issues or just plain age, because I think that comes to play a little bit more into the picture more often than we anticipate it does. So let's get into it. So the first thing that happened was I've been putting off my tomato raised bed, getting that cleared totally out for a while now, just because the temperatures were going up and down. And so I figured, let's just leave it out there and get as much off of it as possible, as late as possible. And part of that was just, truthfully, I just didn't feel like doing it all. I'd already started it, but I got about halfway through it and I just wasn't in the mindset to finish it. So what I did was, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago, I finally said, you know what, I need to get this done so that I can go ahead and prepare this bed and finish it off, because it's the main piece that you can see in my backyard. And I don't really do well with half jobs or starting something and it not being finished. So eventually it bugged me enough where I was just like, you know what, we're getting this done today, point blank period. And so that's what I did. Well, the first day of working on it, I still had to cut down all the vines, because at this point my plants were, I'd say, probably about 13 feet long if you stretched out the vines, and I had to get up on a chair in order to cut off the tops. You wouldn't think that it was a whole big ordeal or a physical ordeal to begin with. But by that night, and like I said, all I did was just chop down vines. My back was killing me pretty bad, and it was even getting through my pain meds. And normally I don't have back problems. Usually my issue is stomach issues, whether it's stomach pains or, let's just say, a bunch of unfun stuff having to do with my stomach. And before I go back into why the back pain was different, let me explain something. I have a condition called Gardner syndrome, and I will put up exactly right up here what that all entails in an abbreviated form. And it's really not just the Gardner syndrome that I have, it's the corrective surgeries that I've had since the age of 19, and the complications from those surgeries that have caused my issues as it is now. So stomach pains, like I said, dehydration, sometimes I'm just not mentally there to deal with stuff, so I'll put it off. But this time it was my back instead of my stomach, which was not necessarily concerning. I went into it knowing that more than likely I'm going to be down for at least a couple of days after I got done doing this. So that brings me to my first point of, if you've got a job to do and you are just not there, you're just not there mentally or physically, you're just like, there's no way I'm gonna get through it, or if you're already bad enough off pain-wise, you can always put things off to another day, which is kind of what I did. Kind of it was me just being a procrastinator, but I wasn't in the right mindset, and for me that was the right thing, because it's not like it's going away and I don't plan on kicking the bucket, so what harm is there just waiting? But once I get into it, the second thing is I took breaks. You're on your own time. Whether you're putting out your spring garden, whether you're tending and picking your crops, or in my case, fixing it up for the fall, you're on your own time. So take breaks, man. You know, and I did that. I actually did that. I took breaks. I hydrated. I waited until I felt recuperated enough from what I was doing previously out there before I went back outside. So I did all that. And I still ended up paying for it. But then here's the second day comes in. And because it took me 2 days pretty much to get it through. The night before, I took some ibuprofen, and my back was feeling better. And then I took some more ibuprofen before I went out there, and I got it all done. I took my time. I didn't end up composting and chopping up as much of it as I thought I was going to, but that just became a time of day thing because it gets dark super early now. An effort thing. I was already starting to feel it again. So I didn't really want to spend all that extra time and hurt myself even more than I already was doing something that didn't need to be done. And the third thing was I needed to get some browns on there because all I was putting on in my compost pile was greens, which was the leaves and the branches and stuff like that. So I knew I needed to stop anyway. So that brings me to my third point, which is sometimes, whether it's in our own heads or whether it's a fact of life, sometimes you have to be in a just get it done, get it over with. That way you can go on to other things. And by doing that, sometimes you have to make the decision whether you're going to accept the fact that you're going to be feeling it afterwards, or you sit there and say, it's not worth it, I'm just going to give it another day. Now, while I do practice do it another day quite a bit, I'm a guy, and I, again, hate to see a job stopped for the second time due to me and how I feel. Again, a little bit of that's physical, and it's the mental part for me of just not having an incomplete job. So I made the mental note of gutting it out, which in hindsight probably isn't the best idea, but again, it's my decision. I knew full well going into it that I wasn't gonna be good afterwards. So that's just what I did. I did that, and then being even a bigger idiot, I was like, well, my back's loosened up now because I pushed through it. I might as well go ahead and sift my compost to put it on the bed as a dressing for fall. So you guessed it, that's exactly what I did. I sifted, and a lot of this, I wanted to record it, but where I say, hey, I'm feeling good, my back is loose, or, oh, I got out there the second day and I was okay at first or whatever, I was, but I wasn't. Again, I was in the headspace and I really wanted to record all of that. But in the process, I got so caught up in my own, I've got to get it done, I've got to get it done. Oh crap, I feel good enough now, so let me go ahead and do this, which is a dumb shit move to do. Just saying, on my part, dumb shit. But it took me out of the fact of, hey, I needed to also set up and record some of this so some people can see my stupidity and learn from it. So this is hindsight and my advice to you, but also recognizing that a lot of you may be like me, where you get in that mindset where it's got to get it done, got to get it done, got to get it done. And so coming back to it is an afterthought. So now here we are, it's all done. Everything's finished. I'm happy that the job's done, but here I am 3 days after I've got it done, and I'm only now being able to get back to the point where I can actually sit down and film this video for you guys to explain what's going on and why I haven't posted a video, and was it worth it? I don't know. I mean, it's worth it. I got stuff done, but I wish I could have showed you guys the process because that's what the channel's here for after all. But instead, all you get is this talking head and maybe a couple of snippets of some of the stuff that I did do. But it's done. And I just want to give those people out there who are anything like myself medically the excuse to not do stuff. It's okay. It's fully okay to look at your calendar and be like, you know what? I haven't done anything in 2 or 3 days. And feel fine about that. Because if you're physically able to do it and you don't have a complex that I still work through every single day of, I can't start something that I can't finish, you don't need to do stuff on a set schedule or just because you're in your own head. Now, for those who are more of the inclination of, I'm gonna do it, I know how I'm gonna feel afterwards, it ain't gonna be good, but I'm gonna do it anyway, I feel you people too, because yeah, been there, done that, sucked, but guess what? Pain's temporary for the most part, unless you have chronic pain like me. But that's a different type of pain. I deal with a different way, and matter of fact, gardening helps me get away from the chronic pain. But sometimes it does harm myself temporarily because I'm an idiot. But the whole point is, you don't have to push it. You don't have to let people get to you about what you are, what you're not doing. You don't have to let yourself get into your own head about what you should do and what you shouldn't do, or what you used to be able to do. For me personal, my personal saying and my own personal belief that I give myself is, the moment I stop moving, I'm preparing to die. Morbid, I know. And it's not like I feel like that really, but in my head, it's like, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta do something that's constructive to take all this energy that you have, and all the ideas that you have in your head. And if you're so good with your hands that you can apply it somewhere, that's what I personally have to do. Because if I don't, I go nuts, I drive everybody in my household nuts, and I'd rather not do that. So I guess this isn't a long about way, just I'm nuts. And I intentionally do stuff that I know I'm gonna pay for later one way or another, but I can't help it because it's my outlet. And I don't think that's wrong. Matter of fact, I think in a lot of ways that's extremely healthy for me. But I wouldn't just generally tell anybody, you know what, reject what your body's telling you, reject what your mind's telling you, just go do everything. No, you can't do that. It's the situation at hand. So please listen to your bodies. If you can do something, do something. If you can't do all of something, do a little bit of something. At least then you can look at the job after it's done, or even after a day, and be like, I still accomplished something. I might not have got project clear out my raised bed of all my tomato plants for fall, but hey, I got a quarter of it done. or I got all the tops cut off, or you know what, all I really did was just pick the fruit. That's something, and something's better than nothing. So that's my talking head point, I guess. And there you have it, the story of what went wrong and what went right, I guess, in a lot of ways. Um, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed and watched the videos, whether you've watched them all the way through or not. I love reading comments. I love getting new ideas or new perspectives from the people who do leave the comments. I appreciate all of you who have done nothing but try to help this channel get out there and grow. And I appreciate all those like-minded individuals who sit there and say every single day that, you know what, I might have A, B, or C going wrong with me, but damn it, I'm gonna do something. I have nothing but love and appreciation for all of you who do that in your own ways, because we're all different. So I'm back at it now. As good as I'm gonna get. So best believe I'm gonna be making more videos, and I'm hoping that all of you guys will, like and subscribe and share and comment, so that I can keep learning and growing too as a person and as a home gardener. So thanks everyone. So this is Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and I'm out of here. See you guys.